Imagine waking up one morning, sunlight streaming through your window, and for a brief, golden moment, you feel a sense of possibility. But as you sit up, the weight of routine settles on your shoulders. You check your phone, scroll through messages, maybe glance at the news, and before you know it, the spark is gone. Another day begins, and it feels just like the last. You wonder, quietly, if this is all there is. If you're like most people, you've felt this way more than once. Maybe you've even asked yourself, what am I really meant to do? What's my purpose? And yet, the answer never seems to come. Here's the uncomfortable truth. 99% of people will never find their true purpose. Not because they're lazy or unworthy or unlucky, but because they're looking in all the wrong places. They chase after goals that aren't really theirs, follow paths laid out by others, and mistake busyness for meaning. If you're watching this, you're already different. You're searching, you're questioning, and that's the first step. But it's not enough, because the world is full of distractions, and the greatest danger isn't failure, it's drifting. Drifting through life, never quite lost, but never truly found. Let me tell you a story. In a small village at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a young woman named Hannah. Every morning, she watched the sunrise from her window, feeling a longing she couldn't name. Her family were farmers, her friends were content, but Hannah felt restless. She tried everything to fill the emptiness, working harder, learning new skills, even traveling to distant towns, but nothing lasted. One evening, an old traveler arrived in the village. He carried nothing but a walking stick and a quiet smile. The villagers gathered around, eager for stories. Hannah, desperate for answers, asked him, "How do I find my purpose?" The traveler looked at her, eyes kind but piercing. "Most people," he said, "search for purpose as if it's a treasure buried somewhere far away. But purpose isn't found in the world. It's revealed in the way you meet the world." Hannah didn't understand. She wanted a map, a plan, a guarantee. But the traveler only smiled and said, "If you want to find your purpose, stop running from silence. Sit with yourself. Listen." That night, Hannah sat alone under the stars. For the first time, she let herself feel the emptiness, the longing, the questions. And in that silence, something shifted. She realized she'd been so busy searching for answers that she'd never truly listened to her own heart. Contrast this with how most people live. We're taught to chase after achievement, to collect experiences, to build resumes and reputations. We're told that purpose is something you earn, something you prove. But the truth is, purpose isn't a destination, it's a way of being. It's not about what you do, but how you do it. The world will try to convince you that your purpose is out there, waiting in the next job, the next relationship, the next milestone. But if you're always looking ahead, you'll miss what's right in front of you. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal, achieved it, and then felt empty again? How many times have you thought, once I get there, I'll finally feel fulfilled, only to find that the feeling fades? This is the trap. The endless pursuit of more success, more approval, more certainty. But the more you chase, the further you drift from yourself. So why do 99% of people never find their true purpose? Because they're afraid to stop, afraid to be still, afraid to face the silence inside. It's easier to stay busy, to keep moving, to distract yourself with noise. But purpose doesn't shout, it whispers. It waits for you in the quiet moments, in the spaces between thoughts, in the truth you feel but rarely speak. Let's get practical. If you want to break free from the 99%, you have to do what almost no one does. You have to turn inward, not just once, but over and over. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. What do I truly care about? What am I willing to struggle for? What would I do if no one was watching, if there was no reward, no recognition? And then you have to listen, not to the voice of fear or expectation or comparison, but to the voice that's been with you since the beginning, the voice that knows what makes you come alive. But here's the paradox. Finding your purpose isn't about finding the perfect answer. It's about living the questions. It's about showing up fully for each moment and letting your life reveal itself to you. Purpose isn't a single thing. It's a practice, a way of being present, of paying attention, of choosing meaning over comfort, truth over approval, growth over certainty. Hannah's story didn't end with a grand revelation. She didn't become famous or rich or celebrated, but she did something far more important. She learned to listen. She learned to trust the quiet wisdom inside her, and in doing so, she found a sense of peace, a sense of direction that no achievement could ever give her. She became a light for others, not by telling them what to do, but by showing them how to be. You might be thinking, that sounds beautiful, but what about real life? What about bills, responsibilities, the pressure to succeed? I get it. Life is demanding, but here's the secret. Purpose isn't something you add to your life. It's the way you live your life. It's the intention you bring to every action, the presence you bring to every moment. You can find purpose in the smallest things, in the way you greet a stranger, in the way you listen to a friend, in the way you show up for yourself when no one else does. The world needs people who are truly alive, people who are willing to stop drifting, to wake up, to choose meaning over comfort, people who are willing to be present, even when it's hard, even when it's scary, because when you do, you become a force for good. You inspire others to do the same. You become part of the 1%, not because you're better, but because you're awake. So if you're ready to stop drifting, to start living with purpose, here's your invitation. Take a breath, close your eyes, ask yourself, what is calling me right now? And then listen, not for the loudest voice, but for the truest one, the one that feels like home. Most people never realize that the search for purpose is not a journey outward, but a journey inward. The world is full of noise, expectations from family, pressure from society, the endless scroll of social media showing you what everyone else is doing, achieving, becoming. It's easy to get lost in comparison, to measure your worth by someone else's highlight reel. But here's the truth. Comparison is the enemy of purpose. When you're busy measuring your life against others, you lose sight of your own path. You become a shadow, chasing someone else's dream, living someone else's story. Let's pause for a moment. Think about the last time you felt truly alive. Not just happy, not just entertained, but deeply, unmistakably alive. Maybe it was a moment of connection with someone you love. Maybe it was when you lost yourself in a creative project, or stood in awe of nature, or helped someone without expecting anything in return. In those moments, you weren't thinking about purpose. You were living it. You were present, engaged, fully yourself. That's the secret most people miss. Purpose isn't something you find, it's something you feel, something you create moment by being fully present to your own life. Contrast that with the way most people live. They wait for permission, they wait for certainty, they wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect sign, the perfect plan. But life doesn't work that way. Purpose doesn't arrive with a fanfare. It doesn't come with a guarantee. It comes quietly in the choices you make every day. The choice to show up even when you're afraid. The choice to speak your truth even when your voice shakes. The choice to keep going even when the path isn't clear. There's a story about a sculptor who was asked how he created such beautiful statues. He replied, "I see the angel in the marble and I carve until I set it free." That's what finding your purpose is like. It's not about adding more to your life, it's about chipping away everything that isn't you. The doubts, the fears, the expectations, the need to please. It's about uncovering the truth that's been there all along. But this work isn't easy. It requires courage. The courage to be honest with yourself, the courage to disappoint others in order to be true to yourself, the courage to risk failure, to risk being misunderstood, to risk standing alone. Most people aren't willing to do this. They settle for comfort over growth, approval over authenticity, certainty over possibility. But you don't have to. You can choose differently. Here's how you start. First, get quiet. Turn down the noise. Spend time alone without distractions. Journal your thoughts, your fears, your dreams. Ask yourself, if I wasn't afraid, what would I do? If I didn't need anyone's approval, what would I choose? Notice what comes up. Don't judge it, just listen. Your purpose isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's a gentle nudge, a quiet curiosity, a persistent longing. Trust it. Second, take small steps. Purpose isn't found in grand gestures. It's found in daily actions. If you feel called to create something today, no matter how small. If you feel called to help someone today, even in a tiny way. If you feel called to learn, start learning today, even if it's just reading a single page. Action creates clarity. The more you move toward what feels true, the clearer your path becomes. Third, embrace uncertainty. The path to purpose is never straight. There will be detours, setbacks, moments of doubt. That's normal. Don't let uncertainty stop you. Let it be a sign that you're growing, that you're stepping into the unknown. Remember, the greatest discoveries are made by those willing to explore uncharted territory. Fourth, surround yourself with people who support your growth. Find mentors, friends, a community that encourages you to be your true self. Distance yourself from those who drain your energy or make you doubt your worth. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Finally, remember that purpose is not a destination, it's a direction. It's not about having all the answers, it's about living the questions, trusting the process, and showing up for your own life. The people who find their purpose aren't the ones who have it all figured out. They're the ones who are willing to keep searching, to keep growing, to keep becoming. Hannah, the young woman from our story, didn't find her purpose in a single moment. She found it in the way she lived each day, with curiosity, with courage, with presence. She learned to trust herself, to follow her own path, even when it didn't make sense to others. And in doing so, she discovered a sense of meaning that no one could take away. You have that same power. You have the ability to choose your path, to create your own meaning, to live with purpose, right now, exactly as you are. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for certainty. Don't wait for the world to tell you who you are. Decide for yourself. Choose to be part of the 1% who are truly alive. If you're ready to take the next step, start today. Start with one small action that feels true to you. Start with one honest conversation, one act of kindness, one moment of presence. And then do it again tomorrow. Over time, these small choices will add up. They will shape your life, your character, your destiny. Purpose isn't something you find once and for all. It's something you choose every day in the way you live, the way you love, the way you show up for yourself and others. The world doesn't need more people chasing after someone else's dream. It needs you, fully alive, fully present, fully yourself.